Alright everyone, what's up? Today I got the Zero Tolerance 0562 carbon fiber model right here. I'm a little late to the game on this one. Didn't get it when it first came out, but got it here recently and I wanted to make a video on it. So yeah, this is the Zero Tolerance 0652 CF. And I'll give you a couple specs. The overall length is 8 1/4 inches, blade length's 3 1/2, weight is 5.45, and the steel on this one is 20 CV, CPM 20 CV. And I'll have the rest of the specs in the description. But let's do a quick overview, and then I have a few things I'm going to point out. It's got this nice carbon fiber scale. This is a real carbon fiber, not just a, whatever Spyderco uses. Peel ply carbon fiber or something. And it's nice, you can see it kind of shifts in the light. It feels really nice, really smooth. I'm not sure if the hardware is stainless or titanium. I think it's titanium. I'm not sure. See the pivot there. Let's look at this blade. This is the this is a Hinder design. I meant to say that from back whenever year this came out. And so this is a slicer grind blade. Rick makes a slicer grind that Rick Hinderer makes his knives with, some of them with slicer grinds. I can't talk. And I actually have one here. I was going to use it for a size comparison later, but I'll just go ahead and show you. This is one of his old slicer grinds. And this is a 3-inch model, but you can kind of see the differences. I mean, the similarities there. So that's what that's based off of. Show you the other side. It's got a nice deep carry clip. Lock bar stabilizer. I have a Gray Precision stabilizer in there right now. And it has a stainless steel insert on the lock bar. See the little cutout there for the lock bar. It's got standoffs back here. It looks like the pocket clip is reversible to that side as well, left and right hand. Very deep carry. It's about as deep carry as you can get on a knife. So yeah, I said earlier that it was 5.45 ounces. That's what I got online, but it don't feel that heavy. Like in hand, I wouldn't have guessed this. I would have guessed it was more like 4.5 if I had to guess. So it ain't. Don't let that completely scare you away if you don't like heavy knives. It is heavy, but it's not. I would not have guessed it was over 5 for sure. All right, there's just a few things I wanted to mention about it. I love this knife, and one of the things I love about it is the ergos. When you're gripping this knife, there's like 0 hot spots, and you probably hear people say that a lot about different knives, but on this one, it's like seriously, like I can't think of a knife I've had that was as good as this as far as not having any hot spots goes. Like when you're gripping this, I can't even tell that there's a pocket clip on here. Like if you look at this pocket clip. It's barely raised off the knife. And like, I can't even feel it when I'm grabbing it. And then all right here, you can see how the edges are rounded. And the carbon fiber smooth, you don't have to worry about that. All on here is real smooth. There's nothing aggressive, There's a little bit of something right here, but I mean, overall, like this, gripping this in your hand is super comfortable. That's one of the things I like about it. Okay, so one thing I was gonna say, some people don't like the pivot screw on this knife. I don't really care for it. I think I prefer a regular one. I mean, it's okay, but some have said that the female side isn't in a fixed position, kind of like some other ZTs are, and so there's a possibility, for it to actually, the whole thing can spin and, your blade can get uncentered and stuff. So I guess technically that is possible, but I just wanted to mention on mine that, see, I've had this for probably 2 months and I've carried it pretty much every day. And I don't know how many times I've flipped it, probably hundreds at least. I might be getting close to 1,000, I don't know. Out of all the times I've been flipping and using this, the centering has stayed perfect. Let me see if I can focus a little bit better here. It hasn't moved since I got it. So if that was one of the things you're worried about, at least in mine, it's not really an issue. I guess it always is possible, but I think they must have some good Loctite or something in here. I haven't taken it apart, but haven't had any issues with that. Stayed center through all those times I've been using it. Another thing I was going to say was this has a KVT ball bearing pivot, and that's part of the reason it flips so well. And I know me, I've only had one other knife with bearings a long time ago. And so one of the things I kind of had in my head before I got this knife was, I don't really like knives on bearings because, they'll get dirty or dirt inside there and it won't be smooth. But I haven't cleaned this knife since I got it, and I haven't, sprayed any air or anything in there, and it's still flipping smooth. Even with dirt in there. Let me see if I can show you. Focus. It's not clean. I didn't clean it up or anything for the video. You can see all the dirt in there, and there's all kind of dust and stuff in that pivot. I don't know if I can get any better view of it or not. But yeah, I've used this, working outside and doing all kind of stuff. And, it's still, I haven't had any issues with it, getting grit in there and not being smooth or anything like that. So that was actually kind of surprising to me that it, it stayed smooth. I guess if you went and just stab this in the sand, maybe you'd have some issues. I don't know. But I've been using it, like I said, for a couple months. Hasn't been an issue for me. So just wanted to throw those things out there. What's the next thing I got? Yeah, flipping action. This is the best flipper I've ever had, for sure. Some knives will flip good but kill your finger in the process, and some knives are easy on your finger but don't flip good. This is the best. It's easy to flip, easy on your finger. It's not going to kill your finger like what ZT is that? I can't remember the number. 566 maybe. Can't remember exactly, but that one will destroy your finger trying to flip. But this one, I can flip this all day, no problem. Does not, won't hurt your finger to do it all day. And that's a good thing. Best flipper I've ever had, for sure. And the detent's strong. It's a pretty strong detent, but it's part of the reason that it flips so well. It's hard to get a strong detent that doesn't kill your finger to flip. But this is all day easy. And you can see, right, sometimes if you disengage it a little too close up to the tang it'll catch. so I kind of got in the habit of just backing my thumb up a little bit to disengage it. That's another thing I was gonna say was, that's one thing I love in knives is when frame locks, you know, titanium or whatever, are easy to disengage. This, you know, like Rick's knives, his are always very easy to disengage, and like this one is just as easy as a Hinder is to disengage. So no problems there. That's just one of my personal things. I can't stand when something's hard to disengage, or it, you know, leaves a big imprint on your finger every time you try to do it. But it's nice and rounded right there. It actually has a little cutout. See how it's rounded right there? Super easy to disengage, very easy to engage. And yeah, and if you need to open it slow, you know, somewhere where you don't want to just always have a flipper. Like me, I like non-flipper knives, you know, usually. So sometimes if I needed to, you can always just pinch it to open it like this. You know, you don't always have to flip it. Now these are blade stops here. These are definitely not thumb studs. So, I mean, there ain't, I don't think you can, I can't open it like that. But I'm just saying, if you ever needed to open it slow, just pinch it, you know, just open it like that. So yeah, let's see, what else do I have on here? Oh yeah, another kind of weird thing is, to me, you know, I normally carry like a small Sebenza, so usually knives this big feel like way too big for me. But for some reason, this knife does not feel big in my hand at all. Let me zoom out a little bit. Like, and I can't really explain it because, you know, the overall length is just as big as some knives that do feel big in the hand to me, like the large Sebenza. I personally do not like the large Sebenza. It feels way too big. But I'm pretty sure it's similar in, you know, overall length to this one. And this one just, I don't know. It doesn't feel like I'm holding a big knife. And maybe because it's kind of a thin knife for its size. And everything's so smooth. Like when you hold this, it's just everything's so smooth. The titanium's smooth, carbon fiber smooth, and it's, you know, pretty thin overall. You know, maybe that's why it doesn't feel as big. But that's just something, you know, I noticed. You know, I'm weird like that. It has pretty thick blade stock. You can see it gets thicker there towards the tip, which is always good. It's almost a full flat grind. And you can see it's, I don't know what's going on with my camera. The grind here, you can see the grind lines. I can get my camera to see it. There you go. You can see the grind lines there, and then it's stone washed up here. So, another good thing about this knife is the pocket clip. Like I said before, is deep carry. It is painted though. You know, you can see it's got the paint starting to come off. So it's not like a black oxide clip, I don't think, from like Benchmade or something like that. Just kind of a bummer, but you know, it's a good clip. Mainly, and it kind of resembles a XM18 clip a little bit. But yeah, deep carry, and like I said, when you're holding it doesn't, you know, you don't even notice it being there when you're gripping the knife, so that's nice. And I'm not sure if I already mentioned this. I'm sorry, I already mentioned this, but I do have a Gray Precision lock bar stabilizer on there. I got a blue one. All of his will fit, you know, this ZT, I think other ZTs too, and they'll also fit Striders and Hinders as well. So, and they're cool. He's got all different kinds. Here's his little card. I got the original in there. Let's see what else. Let me do a few size comparisons here. So this is the 3-inch XM18. This is an old Gen 2 XM18, but the sizes have stayed the same. Looking forward to Hinder's new Gen 5. They're calling it for the 3.5 inch, and I guess it'll be the Gen 4 for the 3 inch. And he's adding a lock bar insert on his XM18s, which they might be at Blade Show this year, which I might be able to pick one up if I'm able to go. So that's the size comparison there. Let's see, small Sebenza. You know, looking at it like that, it looks massive, but I'm telling you, it doesn't feel that big in the hand, and I'm used to carrying something this small. I got my Techno Chubs, as I call them, right there. It's like a difference on the blade stock on these, just for. Little cadet, or cadet? Can't remember what this is called. Let's see. And the only other knife I have that's close to the same size is this Rat. You can see it's actually bigger, it looks like. So yeah, the Rat 1 is bigger if you have one of those. And like, so just going back to the Rat 1, like to disengage, this knife, it ain't bad at all to disengage, but to disengage this compared to this is way easier to disengage than this is. So that's it for the size comparisons. I guess I forgot to show you the box at the beginning. This is the box it comes in. ZT, probably overbuilt in the USA. And it just comes in some bubble wrap and a little pamphlet thing here showing you some great information. So yeah, these go for about $240. Made in the USA. They do make a version that has G10 and a different blade steel that's a little cheaper too, if you want to go that route. Although I will say that this 20CV has been awesome. Like I've been using it for, like I said, for these past 2 months. Not a ton, but I have cut cardboard, open boxes, just doing stuff outside stuff with it. And I can't even tell that that I've cut anything with it. It still feels like just when I got out of the box for the first time. And so it's definitely a good steel for edge retention. And I have a piece of paper right here. I'm pretty sure it can cut this. Let's see. Try to do this on camera here. It'll probably cut phone book paper too. And I haven't stropped this, nothing. And I've been using it pretty good, so definitely a good steel. Definitely. Well, all right, that's gonna wrap it up, I think. I just wanted to get this on the channel. And y'all have a good one.